take you straight to the Prime Minister at Washington.
Great partnership, making a very positive contribution, a very practical contribution to the region that we call home, the Indo-Pacific. The Quad partners, India, Prime Minister Modi, had the opportunity to speak with him directly yesterday, and of course Prime Minister Suga, my dear friend. This will be the last time we meet together here with him as Prime Minister, but he's on a promise to come out to Sydney and visit Jenny and I, hopefully in the future. He's been a tremendous leader of his country, seeing his country through the Olympics and the Paralympics, an extraordinary achievement for Japan to press on in the middle of a pandemic and give the world great hope. He joked with me today that they won a lot more judo gold medals than the Australians did, but the Australians didn't do too badly either. There's no doubt about that. So to you, Prime Minister Suga, thank you very much for your leadership and your great friendship to Australia and to your great strength within the Quad. The Quad meeting today, it's a very practical group. We're focused on demonstrating how democracies get things done, and we get things done in the region in which we live. And so with practical initiatives focusing on 1.2 million vaccines, but it's not just about getting the vaccines, it's about getting them in arms. And the programs we're running together are helping those vaccines being distributed, being administered, the training, the planning, the support that's needed to get, particularly in developing countries, these vaccines in arms. A great example from our own region is all 4 of the Quad partners supporting the vaccination in Fiji, and a small island in the Pacific, but the Quad can see to that need, and delivering those vaccines in Fiji has really turned that country around, and they'll be opening up soon, and I'm sure welcoming visitors. I'm sure Frank Bainimarama would love me to say welcoming visitors from all across the Quad nations. So vaccines are an important set of outcomes today for COVID. On critical minerals, Australia is one of the biggest producers, but we believe we can play a bigger role in a critical supply chain that is supporting the technologies of the future. And further initiatives there today being led by Australia, but connecting up with the manufacturing and processing capabilities and end users in the United States, in India and in Japan as well. Our discussions around security began with Afghanistan, and particularly focusing on how we can continue to help people who wish to leave Afghanistan and become part of our humanitarian programs, and holding the Taliban to account to ensure that they can leave safely. And ensuring that we keep the pressure on the Taliban in Afghanistan to live up to the commitments that they've made. There are already concerning reports, and those who want to leave Afghanistan and become part of our humanitarian programs that particularly Australia is involved in, we want to be able to facilitate that. The broader security environment in the Indo-Pacific is well known to all of us because we live with it each and every day. Australia has taken significant steps through our most recent partnership, the AUKUS partnership, but that builds on our direct arrangements both with India and with Japan in bilateral arrangements, training exercise, the reciprocal access agreement with Japan. More broadly, when it comes to climate, today there was a real sense of resolve, and not just about the if question, of course, is the answer to that question, but the how, and how we can support particularly developing countries within the Indo-Pacific to get access to the clean energy technology that enables them to transition their economies, just like Australia is seeking to transition our economy. An important initiative for a clean energy supply chain summit to be held next year in Australia to put together a roadmap over the next 12 months that can see how we can combine the best scientific knowledge, industry knowledge and academics coming together to ensure we can transfer our energy technology, clean energy technology, the supply chains that support it, to transform the economies of our region. So it was a very busy day. The Quad is a very practical initiative, bringing together partners who care about the future of the region in which we live, positive contributions. We agreed that we've got to keep it simple, keep it focused, and keep getting the job done. So again, I want to thank President Biden and Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Suga for our partnership, that we believe is going to achieve a great deal. After 6 months, it's already got off to a great start. Just finally, there was the opportunity to speak to the Vice President, and we had a very positive discussion about the region. In particular, from Australia's perspective, I was very pleased to learn about some of the programs being run in Indigenous communities here in the United States regarding the vaccine program here and the lessons that can be learnt for Australia back home. But I was very pleased to hear about the Vice President's recent trip into the region, to Singapore and to Vietnam, and to share our own experiences of the challenges in the region, and particularly our relationship in Indonesia and trying to attract more investment capital into the region from private industry, not just in the United States and Australia, but further afield.